specifically made so that you can straddle them like this.
When Brianna Arkenberg got pregnant years ago, she also got gestational diabetes. It was a combination that changed her eating habits forever. With the arrival of both baby and disease, Brianna and her husband knew they needed to change their diet along with their family makeup. After the baby came, the couple purchased a small farm on the outskirts of Topeka, Kansas, and began growing fresh vegetables. The farm is less than an acre in size, but provides produce for their family and enough to sell at the local farmers market.
Before we became farmers about 10 years ago, I was actually on food stamps because I was pregnant. It was kind of an automatic thing. They let me on it. And so it was kind of a struggle to eat healthy with that because, you're tempted by that big bag of Oreos or, potato chips. Until I got gestational diabetes, I wasn't watching what I was eating. And then I realized, man, vegetables are really expensive. And if you want to eat something, that's when I became self-conscious because, I was growing another person. I was, trying to buy organic at the grocery store and I realized how expensive it was. And it was really difficult to kind of justify spending that much money on something that's good for you when you can buy something that'll fill you up just as much with half the money.
There is a problem brewing in the heart of the land of the free. It could be affecting someone who is close to you, like a family member, a neighbor, a friend, or it could even be you. There are communities all over Kansas who are in food deserts and are struggling to find healthy foods.
I know kids, they don't have access to food a lot of times outside of school. They are taught that eating chips and a sandwich are fine, eating fried food every day for every meal is okay, fast food, even though it's not good for you. And then they don't want to try the fruits and vegetables that are actually good for you because it doesn't taste like what they're used to. And I know that a lot of lower income, they have a hard time getting nutritious food because it's more expensive.
All across Kansas, there are people who don't have immediate access to fresh and nutritious food. You could drive 10 or more miles just to purchase produce. When a community does not have access to fresh food like this, it is called a food desert.
There's a lot of stuff that you can buy with your food stamps that you shouldn't be able to, like junk food, soda pop. A lot of times, like in the food desert, the only place that they can get food within walking distance is at like a gas station or a convenience store. And so they have, instead of choosing sandwich, they'll buy a bag of chips, and so it's convenient, but it's not healthy. But where the market is, I know that there are no grocery stores around. In fact, the closest one that was in central Topeka closed down a couple of years ago and turned into a health office. And so I know when and that particular grocery store, a lot of their business came from WIC and food stamps. And so when they closed, there was a big cry out in the community for what are we going to do now? Now I've got to, instead of I could walk to the grocery store, I have to get on a bus or, it just made it really hard for people to do that. And so I think that the farmers market kind of gained a little bit more popularity just because it was within walking distance from a lot of people from that place.
The Red Barn is owned by Don Burris, who grows fresh produce to help those who don't have immediate access to fresh food. But instead of traveling to a farmer's market, he opens up his shop right in the middle of a food desert.
Well, the nearest grocery store used to be Goldcross, and that store burnt down. And for quite a while we didn't have any store except for Wamego was the closest. That's 13 miles away. And so rather than people want to drive that far, this helped them out and helped us out.
Like Bree, Don also strives to provide food that is organic and nutritious to those who might have limited access to healthy foods.
We don't use any chemicals out here. except for grass, around the grass or something. But so it's all natural grown, organic grown, I guess you want to say. We have customers every year that come back every year, all summer, and as soon as we get, they even come out here earlier because before we get anything out here to grow, want to know when it's going to be here. So we know that people like it, and we're doing some good to the community.
The Topeka Farmers Market is the main place that people in that food desert can get their fruits and vegetables, but it seems not enough people know about it. Brianna hopes that one day the market will be open more often, and even hopes that convenience stores will start selling their own produce.
Well, I mean, it could be just as simple as, one refrigerated cooler that has, 2 or 3 different options of a variety of things that you could make a salad out of. And if they did them locally, then they would be fresher, they'd last longer. It would help the community, it would help the local farmers. They just need to scoop stuff together, maybe get rid of 2 rows of frozen ice cream and put in a thing of radishes.
This is a good start for those living in food deserts, but there is still a lot more that needs to be done.